Anteater's Mystery Christmas. Anteater orders some tea. Bump. Excuse me, said Anteater. Bump, bump. Pardon me, excuse me. It was Christmas Eve, and Anteater was shopping downtown. Oh, that's confusing, Anteater. It is so crowded, she said. I'm glad that I'm done with my Christmas shopping. Now I must go home and clean the house before my sister Eliza arrives. Anteater passed a bookstore. A sign in the window read, Edna Herring's New Mysteries. I love mysteries, said Anteater, and she's my favorite author. I will buy the book as a present to myself. She went inside. I'm sorry, said the clerk. We sold out about an hour ago. Oh dear, said Anteater. Maybe some tea and cookies will cheer me up. She sat down in Lacey's tea shop. Suddenly she saw a scrap of paper on the floor. It said, Rob Frampton's jewelry store. Pearl and ruby rings at 12 o'clock. Goodness, she cried. Someone's going to rob the jewelry store? I must find a police officer. Anteater ran out of the tea shop. She turned the corner and crashed. She ran into Officer Miles. What's the hurry, he asked. Anteater showed him the note. We must get to the jewelry store, said Officer Miles. It's almost 12 o'clock. They ran out inside the store. I'm here for the ring, said a dark figure to the clerk. Stop, cried Anteater. Just then a lady walked in. Hello, Rob, she said. I'm sorry if I'm late. I lost my shopping list and could not remember when we were going to meet. What's going on here? Asked Officer Miles. My son Rob and I came to pick up some presents for my grandchildren, said the lady. This year I'm giving them rings to match their names, Ruby and Pearl. What a nice surprise from them, said Anteater. And what a surprise for us, said Officer Miles. Yes, said Anteater. Christmas can be full of surprises. You never know what might happen. Now I must hurry home and get ready for Eliza. Anteater takes out garbage. Anteater walked to the bus stop. On the way, she saw another bookstore. Maybe this bookstore has Edna Herring's new book, she said. But a sign in the window said sold out. I will never get that book, said Anteater, and she got on the bus. When Anteater got home, she cleaned the house for Eliza's visit. She dusted every room and took the garbage outside. Suddenly, she saw a mysterious man with a white beard go behind Mr. Fragg's house. That did not look like Mr. Frag, said Anteater. That man could be a thief. I will see what he is doing. Anteater sneaked around to the back of the house. The mysterious man was climbing in the window. Goodness, she cried, you are a thief. Please help me, said the man. I'm stuck. I will not help a thief, cried Anteater. But I'm your neighbor, said the man. You are not Mr. Frag, said Anteater. Yes, I am, said the man. He took off his beard. Mr. Frag, said Anteater. She helped him out of the window. Thank you, said Mr. Frag. This is much better. Why are you climbing in your own window? Asked Anteater. I forgot my house keys, said Mr. Frag. I know this window was unlocked. I wanted to climb through, but I'm too fat. Why do you have a beard? Asked Anteater. And how did you get so fat? This is my costume, said Mr. Frag. I'm pretending to be Santa at a Christmas party. You will make a jolly Santa, said Anteater, and there is no mystery about that. Ho, laughed Mr. Frag. Anteater follows some tracks. When Anteater went home, she said, oh dear, I forgot to give Mrs. Plum and her twins a plate of Christmas cookies. I will do it now before Eliza comes. She knocked on Mrs. Plum's door. I'm so glad to see you, said Mrs. Plum. I have a real mystery for you. Come on inside. I was making some soup, said Mrs. Plum. I left the kitchen for a few minutes, and when I returned, my new hat and coat were gone. How strange, said Anteater. It gets even stranger, said Mrs. Plum. I'm also missing the carrot for my soup. Let's look for some clues, said Anteater. They looked around the kitchen. Anteater spotted some puddles of water. These look like footprints, she said, and they seem to go outside. They followed their footprints to a fence. The thief went this way, said Anteater. Follow me. They crawled through a hole. The footprints went uphill and down, and they went around a large rock and into a big field. Look, said Mrs. Plum. That person has my hat and coat. She must be a thief. Suddenly, Anteater began to laugh. I think the mystery is solved, she said. Oh, dear, said Mrs. Plum. It is a snowman, and there are the twins. They must have taken my coat and hat and used a carrot for the nose. Oh, one thing for sure, said Anteater. It is the best dressed snowman in town. Anteater finds a present. That night the doorbell rang. Eliza, cried Anteater. It's so good to see you. I brought Sally, said Eliza. She cannot stay home alone for Christmas. I'm happy to see her too, said Anteater. Anteater and Eliza trimmed the tree. Then they ate a big Christmas Eve dinner and sang carols. Then it was time for bed. Anteater put out a blanket and pillow for Sally. Good night, Sally, she said. Anteater and Eliza went upstairs. Sweet dreams, said Eliza. Good night, said Anteater, and she crawled into bed. Suddenly she heard thump. What was that, she said. She tiptoed downstairs and switched on the light. Oh, it is only you, Sally, and Anteater. Come out of the garbage can. Anteater got back into bed. She was almost asleep, and suddenly she heard bump. Now what is that, she asked. She went downstairs. And I see you found a mouse hole, said Anteater. Try to be a little bit more quiet. Anteater went back to bed, but a few minutes later she heard jingle, jingle, then thump. Anteater sighed. What is that cat up to now? I bet it's Santa this time. She went downstairs, but Sally was sound asleep. What made that noise? Asked Anteater. Could it be a thief? Suddenly she saw a huge shadow. Somebody's in the house, she said. She hid behind the door. Then the shadow was gone. Anteater looked and saw something under the tree. It's a present, said Anteater, and it's for me. I did not see it before. I wonder who it's from. She opened it. Oh my, she cried. It's Edna Hearing's new book. How did it get here? Who gave it to me? This is a mystery. I will look for some clues. She saw footprints around the tree that stopped at the fireplace. Just then, Anteater heard jingle, jingle. She looked outside and saw a dark shape in the sky. Christmas is filled with some wonderful mysteries, said Anteater, and sat down to read her new book. Meow, said Sally. Merry Christmas to you too, said Anteater. The end.